Good. Keldrick Faulkner is being Keldrick Faulk is being talked about in the chat. He was on campus over the weekend. Defensive lineman out of Alabama, top 10 defensive lineman in the country, top 10 player in the state of Alabama, top 100 player. So he obviously has got some talent. He's got a lot of schools coming after him. Do we know anything about him and any good feeling on him after visiting this week? And he was at Florida the week before.
Yeah, I think Florida State's in a really good spot here. Florida State wants to add there in the defensive end room, and this has been a big target for almost 2 years now, building that relationship all the way through almost COVID time when the pandemic started. But this race is between Florida State and primarily maybe Auburn here too. He has there's also, you got to watch out a little bit for maybe Florida and Clemson, but really I think it's down to two teams, Florida State and Auburn. Florida State's John, Coach Pap, I call him, Florida State's defensive end coach, has a really good relationship with Faulk here, and I think that's what's going to really help it out. Also has a really good relationship with Coach Mike Norvell. He set up a lot of these officials in advance. He ended up picking Florida State to be his last one. And he is intending on committing on July 5th. So I think this puts Florida State in a pretty good spot here. This would be definitely a big timeline. Florida State had a really good recruiting weekend overall with a lot of these visits, and I think a lot of them could turn into commitments. You got to keep an eye on Lucas Simmons, who James was talking about. Coach Atkins built that relationship across the seas, so I don't know how much longer you'll have Atkins for another year, but he's over here recruiting people from across the ocean, man. And it seems like Florida State's put themselves in a really, really good spot. I think it comes down to family and having that kind of chemistry inside of the program, and I think he likes Florida State over others in that regard. So Lucas Simmons, Keldrick Faulk, two guys to keep an eye on. Lucas Simmons, it could pop at any moment almost, it feels like. He has really good – he just has a really good relationship with Coach Atkins. He's kind of a continuous thing here, just like we were talking about with Kearney, but an extremely good relationship with Atkins, a lot of trust there too. So I'm keeping an eye on Simmons and Faulk as we get done with the parties on July 4th and head into next week.